You're listening to Open Heart with Lisa, and before I get started, I want you to know that I am Lisa. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I want to talk to you about this platform. I want you to know what the platform is and what this platform is not. Open Heart with Lisa is not a therapy session with a psychiatrist or psychologist or even a marriage counselor. I don't. That's not me. But what it is, and my objective is to give men a platform that they can have a candid, provocative, and informative conversations about their relationship issues, their love issues, matters of their heart, from the male's perspective. Now, ladies, I don't want any of you all to get offended. I don't want anyone to get offended by anything that my male guests will say, because they're speaking about their personal lives, they're speaking from their perspective, and they have a right to share their feelings. They have a right to talk about life as it has happened to them. I want you to also know, lastly, that all of my guests are anonymous, all of my male guests, all of my guests, period, unless there's some type of professional speaking. And the reason why I want this to be this way is because I want a man to be able to share his heart, his soul, his feelings without anyone knowing who he is personally and bringing any strife in his life. This way he'll talk freely. So for this week, we're going to talk about a topic called forced out. Forced, F-O-R-C-E-D, out. And what that means is, what happens when the wife no longer wants to be married to the husband? What happens when he has to leave his home? What happens when he's no longer under the same roof with his children? How does he feel? Well, I'm happy this week to have a young man by the name of, let's call him Kevin from Virginia. And Kevin is going to speak from his heart, not in a malice way, not in a way that's going to be disrespectful to his ex-wife in any way. He's not here to put his ex-wife down. He's just talking about what happened to him, his personal emotion, what happened to his heart. He's going to talk about what he lost, things that sometimes we never hear men speak about. Kevin?
Hello?
How you doing, Kevin? I'm so glad you're here.
Fine, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. So, listen, let's get with the nitty-gritty because we only have 30 minutes.
Okay.
I want to go to the backstory. Let's go back before you got married, because the backstory is important for people to know the genesis of your relationship, how you met your wife. So I want to start right there. How did you meet your wife? Do you remember?
Yes, I'm a musician, and I was playing at a particular ballroom, and she was there. And at the end of the show, she and her girlfriend were sitting, by themselves. And I went over and said a couple words, and we exchanged numbers.
Okay, so you said she was
there.
What was it about her? What was it about her? Was she cute? Why did you exchange numbers with her?
Very, very attractive, very pretty, very, very pretty, but not just from the physical side of what we admire the most. She was a beautiful person inside. And, from a young man, I was always attracted to that. It wasn't just physical only that really nailed me down. You have to have a glow in your spirit, your eyes, your heart, and these are the things that I find that just stop me in my track, but I fuck through that.
Oh, shucks. I like that. Stop you in your tracks. So she was easy on the eye, that's what I would say.
And the spirit.
Yeah, okay. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful couple. Easy on the eye and easy on the spirit.
Absolutely.
So how long did you date your wife before you married her?
About a year and 2 months.
Okay, a year and 2 months. Did you have a big wedding?
Yes, I did.
Did your mother like her?
Very nice wedding.
Did your mother like her?
Oh, my family loved her. Everybody was really, thrilled about her. She was, a very nice person.
And did you love her family?
Well, she didn't have much of a family.
Okay.
It just maybe as far as I can remember, maybe 4 family members, and our mother was an angel.
Okay. So you loved the family.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you have children. And how many children did you have with your wife?
3 children.
Okay, 3 children. Another question I want to know is, I don't want to call you, I don't want to say, did you have a perfect family, because there are no perfect people, but did you enjoy your family life?
Very much. To me, life is all about the true things in life are so simple and basic. Kindness and being in sync with whatever the day is not a nightmare. It's, things that was pretty basic. When I say pretty basic, we did almost everything that a family do. It's not just, based upon finance. It's just smiling at one another, planning, spending time with each child individually, and it's not just as a team, but we did all of that. And my son, at the time when he was a kid, he used to like to fish. So I bought him a fishing rod. He and I went fishing. The girls didn't like to fish, but they liked to, one loved comedy, one loved going to museums, and we did all of that individually sometimes, because one or the other didn't like maybe going to the museum, but we would drag along anyway sometimes. But they spent a lot of time together doing many things that a family, I think, should do.
You told me something in our pre-interview, Kevin, that I'm telling you, I really liked this concept, because we were talking about how so often once you start having children, the dynamics between a husband and wife naturally so changes, because now just the two of you focusing on each other, you have children that you got to give your love and attention to. But I want you to tell the audience how you told me you dated your wife while you were married 21 days straight.
Oh.
Because I think I've never had that done to me. But trust me, there's somebody when we hang up, I'm going to call and recommend that he does that with me.
Well, give him a call and see what happens.
I'm getting ready to call him. That 21 days dating.
Well, we were married at that point. Let me see. My daughter must have been. We were married at that point. 7 years. So what happened was, like I said, we both had an extreme, when I said things in common, we just seemed to like each other because of what we saw in each other, and we appreciated. Just many a time, those 21 days we would go, let's say we had to taste for different food. Of course we did our soul food thing. That was pretty much always on the menu, but we did our Italian things, dinners, Chinese or whatever, and we just found different things that we wanted to do that we could afford to do. And believe me, it's not that you need a lot of money, because to go pack a picnic basket and go on put it on the back of a bike and go for a ride and have a picnic, ride for 3-4 hours to wherever your destination, not 3 hours destination, but to get there maybe an hour or so. Take your blanket and, how much did that cost? But you
created moments. You created wonderful moments.
Absolutely.
You said something else to me, and we were talking about romance, and you said the way you and your wife used to look at each other created such a romance. And I thought that was fascinating, because sometimes people will think of romance as something
they look at it as sexual.
Yeah, right.
And believe me, that the greatest sexual the experience you can have is when you're close to someone from a joy and happiness, from a simple level of just looking at this person, or just talking to this person.
So
So
you're saying,
everything else
so when
grows.
you looked at your wife, and you and her looked at each other, you're saying that what you told me, it was just so romantic.
Well, throughout the day, it's 24 hours in a day. So most people that hear what I'm saying would say, well, what type? Life is not just... But there is a romance in life with almost anything you do if you can look at it from a winning perspective. Like, okay, I have to go to work, but I'm working because when the weekend comes, I don't have to work. I'm going to be happy working and not working because I'm able to make myself happy, being able to take care of my family, and we all have things that we put on the table we want to do. So as a result of certain things, people say, I dread doing this and that. Well, look at it from a different angle, and it plays a huge part of your life to keep the foundation where you can keep stepping. And in life, to me, it's not always the major step. It's a small step. If you are consistent, will get you there. And all you want to be at the end of the day when you close your eyes is you want to be able to be thankful and smile within yourself and the one that you're with.
So you were married before things went awry and before things started to change, you were married, 13 years?
12 years.
You were married 12 years. Okay. So
But 12 years before the volcano eruption.
Okay. So 12 years before the volcano eruption. Okay. 12 years before everything changed.
Well, the volcano wipes out everything. I've never seen a mosquito, nothing hanging around saying after to say give a report of what happened.
No, I understand that. So here's what I want to know. Everything was okay, so you thought. Mm-hmm. When did you know something different had changed with your wife?
Well, everything we, excuse me, I've said so far has been based upon just the absolute truth of the dynamics of the relationship. So, it's like a dark cloud shows up. You know what it is. You don't see the sunshine. We were going for a country drive one beautiful Sunday, and I simply said, wow, it's such a beautiful day today. And I got no response from her. I wasn't speaking to my children at the time. All of us were together. And so a few seconds later, I repeated myself. I said, such a beautiful day. The response that I got was like, what? Not just the tone of voice, but the emotion behind that. Mm-hmm. From that instant, mm-hmm. I knew something was wrong. And it wasn't about something in the house, with the children or this and that or me. I forgot to do this and that. I knew something had some new type of something was going on in her mind that she had never experienced and I had never experienced.
So the way she said what was a tone and a feeling that you had that you never experienced. So while you were driving, what did you feel? Did you feel like, what is she upset with me?
I felt like I was struck by lightning because, if someone is expressing something about something that is beautiful, and then you get that crazy response.
You get that annoyed.
Right. So now, had I said something that maybe was kind of silly or out of place, if I could say, like I said, oh, look at son, look at that squirrel with his head upside, or whatever. You might get what are you? That's so, some type of response like that, but that was not it. The emotional setting with that was not friendly.
Okay, so was the rest of the ride and the drive that you had with your wife, were you basically then just interacting with your kids And you kind of left your wife alone, or did she come around and you
Well,
all just?
No, she didn't come around, and it was kind of hard for me to interact. I mean, we did what we set out to do, whatever it was, the dinner, whatever. But me knowing something is wrong here. Something is seriously wrong. It just made me not enjoy myself.
Okay, so here's the question. When did you find out that your wife, when did you find out your wife, I guess, did not want to be with you any longer? What were the events? What exactly happened when you knew, you know what, I know she's doing something?
Okay, what happened was the very next day, what had happened that Sunday, I was like devastated. I mean, it was like, wow. I didn't know whether I was coming or going because I knew something. So at that point, from that Sunday, she instantly became another person in terms of how she was at the years that we were married. And she started going out with a friend, coming home late, making excuses why, because you have to give a person a chance to be themselves, even explore themselves if they're having problems within themselves, because she wasn't sharing what she was feeling at the time with me at that particular time. So after a few weeks...
Wait. Let me ask you a question. So before she was not going out with her girlfriends?
No.
And then, all right.
I mean, once in a while she would go out, visit them or whatever, or we would go together. It was never a thing where I would say, you can't do this, you can't do that, or whatever, because we trusted each other.
So the question I just want to know, and I think I just want to get this in sequence. Occasionally she would go out when everything was okay. You're saying after you all went on a country drive and she responded, what? That then she started going out more with her girlfriends.
Well, she not just started going out. She started hanging out.
What do you mean by hanging out?
Well, going to clubs and coming in at 3 a.m. and stuff like that. Wanting to use the car. I can tell you exactly what happened in this, in regard to the step by step.
Tell us what happened step by step.
Okay, what happened was after that Sunday, everything that I'm going to say happened within 6 weeks. So the first time she went out, she came in late, like 9. And I said, well, where were you? She said, I was shopping. Okay. It was like 9 o'clock. Okay, you were out all day. Okay. Then it happened again. And so one particular day, I had to pick up some pictures of the group that was where she was working part-time, 4 hours during the day. And I just happened to, because I was so hurt, she wasn't sharing nothing, no info with me why she was acting this way. So I was in a distance from where she worked, and I just stood there and watched her go in a different direction where she said she had gone to. So I knew something, she was saying someone at that point. And so eventually she broke down and I said, well, where were you? She said, I was out with a friend. And we went out to have tea. Okay, well, tea to me, if I find another alphabet to substitute that. But anyway, she said she was out having tea, and so from that point she got bolder and bolder.
Okay,
more
so
aggressive.
when you say from that point she got bolder and bolder.
From that moment she told me she was out with a friend, well, I guess she felt she had enough courage and strength now to let me know she was trying to casually express to me she was seeing someone.
Okay, and this is what I want to know too. When she got bolder and bolder too, did bolder and bolder mean, or was this part of her boldness? Was she the type of woman who, and this is not putting her down, people go through what they go through, but was she the type of woman who would hang out and then was she keeping in contact with the kids? Was she calling you at all? Or she kind of was just gone?
Because I was there, and she had to always come home, when she was at the beginning of what she was doing, like with the street stuff. She would always come home. I mean, I can't really say she neglected them at that point, but the gates of hell opened up after a few weeks with the kids because they knew what was going on with her.
Now you said this is when you said they knew what was going on with her. Are you talking about the 6 weeks that you're telling us about?
Absolutely, and I'll explain what happened in the 6 week love.
Okay.
In other words, I stayed with her. She wanted to use the car. She said, I'm going out to a club. I said, no, you can't use the car. I'll pick you up. So at 3 a.m. I went to this particular club to pick her up. And she appeared to be coming out of the club, but she wasn't in the club. She came from around the corner. And so as I drove off, she waved to someone. And so my reason for picking her up and allowing her to do what she wanted to do, because I did not want to be under the assumption of, well, maybe she's not. She says she's not. These are the bridges that allow me to burn the past, because, you can't force someone to love. You can't buy love. You just have to accept it for what it really is from the other person you're involved with. You can love them as much as you want. If they're not getting that, to me, it's just a lost cause. So I want to
clarify. So what you're basically saying is you gave her the opportunity.
Well, I forgot to say that at the second week of everything going crazy, she asked me to go and stay away for a couple of weeks. She needed time to maybe readjust or get herself together. I accommodated that. I went and moved out for 2 weeks. Now,
did you talk to your kids while you were going?
Oh yeah, we talked.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Always in touch with them. It's just like breathing. You need the next breath. You got to. But anyway, those 2 weeks, I went away and stayed for 2 weeks. They seemed like 6 months of pain and suffering because, my heart was there with her, and, you hear songs and different people say a broken heart. A broken heart is much easier to fix than a shattered heart because this was so unexpected. And had it came in another form of fashion, I mean, maybe I would have been able to not feel as bad as I felt. But it's really it's the impact of just out of the blue. And
when you're saying out of the blue, you're talking about the relationship just declining because you thought everything was okay.
Well, again, for people that listening to what we are saying, I have to respect a person who is bold enough to stop on a dime and say how they feel. So it could have been okay up until the point she made a decision to change. She was bold enough.
That's the point I'm saying. The reason why I guess I'm trying to understand. I'm saying it was so devastating to you because you thought everything was okay in your marriage.
Oh, I got you. Absolutely.
Right, right. That's what was so devastating. Because for some people, there are some people, and this is not you, and I want you to keep your story specific to yourself. But there are some people who have watched the decline of their marriage. You watch systematically things break down.
Yeah.
And then by the time it gets to the point of no return, you kind of had 1, 2, 3, 4 years of just watching everything change. But see, that wasn't your case.
Not at all. It was like in altitude, 35,000 feet. It's 12 noon. 1 p.m. is on the ground. That's
right.
how it happened.
Well, that's devastating.
That's
devastating.
The reason why I said there is a difference between a broken heart and a shattered heart.
Oh, yeah, and you had the shattered heart. When you went away and she asked that you leave and give her some space for 2 weeks, how did you feel that night when you had to go to bed? And this is when, she asked you to go away for 2 weeks.
Did
it hit you? Did you find yourself crying? Did you find yourself you weren't able to sleep? What did you actually go through?
I was not able to sleep. I think one of the worst feelings you can have in life, is to be hurt. It's a miserable feeling. Be hurt on the account of love for someone that you really care for, and you really you not just see yourself. You know that you're rejected. You're
right.
being rejected, and it's something that just not. There's no remedy for that other than a deeper understanding of yourself, trying to adjust yourself to accept it. Because if you don't accept it, to me, accepting it means that you have to give up what you love the most.
So in those 2 weeks, were you hopeful?
Oh, extremely.
In those 2 weeks, that after the 2 weeks are over, when you get back home, you'd be able to work through whatever your problems were. Were you hopeful about that?
I had a discussion with her. I said, listen, I know what you're doing.
This is within the 2 weeks, or is this by the time you get home?
No, this is after I came back.
Okay, but I want to go back to the 2 weeks. Because I want to ask you a couple of questions about that 2 weeks, because we're getting ready to come to a close, and then we'll pick up on when you come back home. Those 2 weeks, did you find yourself, having been married myself and having been through a divorce and going through some difficult times with my ex-husband and coming to terms with some things, coming to terms with my husband and I were not going to be married. And I remember when I asked my husband to leave, and I remember the separation anxiety I had, because when you've been married with someone and your lives are intermingled, there's so much of what you do daily that includes your spouse. So I'm saying now, for those 2 weeks, you're not waking up in the morning seeing your wife at all. You're not having
nightmare.
Yeah. So and I want to know, those 2 weeks, did you talk to her at all? I know you talked to the kids, but did you talk to her at all? She just wanted you.
Because she asked for time to maybe readjust herself or get herself together.
So you were totally cut off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because she asked me to. She didn't say don't call me, but I just figured, let me just completely disappear out of her head.
Did you find that you lost your appetite and all of that stuff that comes with that?
Yeah, that comes with it.
Yeah, I know. I lived that. That's something.
That's like the norm.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, I experienced that. And you know what? I remember when I had separated from my ex-husband, and I remember for me, and let you and I talk, for me, the night was the hardest, because even though I would hurt during the day, there were things I had to do, obviously, to live and survive. And, there's conversations, I'm going to work. But there's something about that midnight hour. There's something about when it's time to go to sleep and everything's quiet.
Well, Lisa,
is horrible.
It's horrible. And in my life, love is like the sunshine. It follows you. Even though at night you don't see it, but the light that you see from the moon is the sun reflecting it. So day or night, you're getting some type of energy from the sun. So love it to me is just like that. So I was out of sync with everything. It didn't change my personality of how I respond to treating people. Because that's just not me.
Yeah, it didn't change me either, and no one would have known the hurt I was going through, because I'm not a person who's going to hurt and take it out on anybody else, but that internal stuff that I go through, me, myself, and I, that stuff all three of us go through, that heartache, that's what I'm talking about. But listen, we got to close, and we're going to pick it back up tomorrow, and we're going to pick up, let's talk about tomorrow after the 2 weeks when you got home, okay?
Okay.
Kevin. All right. I want to thank everybody for listening to Open Heart with Lisa. Thank you, Kevin, from Virginia, for being on. And I want you to tune in tomorrow. You all can reach me at my YouTube channel. I hope you subscribe to Open Heart with Lisa. You can find me on Facebook. And come visit the blog, openheartwithlisa.com, and write some comments. Let them be positive. I don't want no nasty stuff, but I'm glad that you listened. And, again, you're listening to Open Heart with Lisa, where his heart matters. God bless you.